Grab a seat. I'll take you uptown where you'll find some of the best crab cakes in the city.
I'm not telling anybody the recipe, sorry.
We got the recipe all right.
Wow.
And we're sharing with you. Then, inside a serious southern seafood sensation.
Oh, the smells are pretty amazing.
And so are the flavors at this historic Pearl hotspot. Then, we'll take you to Austin, where East Side Barbecue is finger-licking good.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
Grab a napkin. Good Taste starts right now.
Hi everyone, welcome to Good Taste and welcome to Houston, my hometown. We have an awesome table to share with you today. If you believe in purpose, that you're here for a reason, you'll love meeting the two special guys behind one of Houston's most successful restaurants. Two colorful characters with a passion, not only for great food, but for life. That's Tony Masraff, a well-known adventurous entrepreneur who at nearly 80 years old still rides to and from work on his Harley.
So we need to get that set up.
And then there's Russell, Tony's spunky son, who got tired of working in someone else's restaurant and decided to start his own.
And I get to spend some quality time with my dad and make sure he understands again who's the boss.
He asked his dad to leave retirement behind and join him in the business.
Called my dad one day and I said, Dad, I just gave him my notice. He was living in Hempstead, Texas, and when you go out to visit your dad and he's on a tractor wearing, 1965 Docksiders and a cigar hanging out to here, it's like, that's not the way you want your dad to go
He was
out and
living the
retire.
good life.
He thinks he was.
Could be this pairing is a match made in heaven.
Hi, I'm Tony Masraff. Just checking to make sure everything's all right here. We've been so complimentary to each other. We've been a catalyst to each other. It was really kind of overnight because the next day I put the ranch up for sale and we got a buyer that same night.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Literally, he sold everything he had. I sold everything I had, and to go into business with me. And I know I've told you thank you many times, but to have a father that believes in you at that level, is willing to risk everything he has.
Clearly, it was worth the risk. Masraff's is Uptown. Their sizzling kitchen turns out some incredible cuisine, and it's rated among Open Table's top 100 restaurants. You walk in and you feel good.
It's me.
That may be true, but the food here puts you in a pretty good mood too.
The food is fantastic.
For starters, just look at Masraff's impressive crab cake. 100% jumbo lump crab meat.
This is by far the most popular dish that we have in the restaurant.
Russell's talking about this. Masraff's famous calamari.
Sautéed, not fried. It's unlike any calamari you've ever tasted before.
I'm not telling anybody the recipe, sorry.
I know, I've asked a million times. Masraff sources local fish, but also flies fish in from all over the world every day. Like this beautiful herb-crusted bluefin tuna that frames a dollop of creamy wasabi potatoes. Or the succulent Maine lobster that sits on a fried seafood cannelloni that's stuffed with crab and shrimp. Yes, it's incredible.
Every time we're in town, we're always here.
It's obvious diners at Masraff's enjoy the experience, and those in the know have another reason to support this dynamic duo. More than 16 years ago, Tony Masraff was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
And people get scared when they're diagnosed with cancer. So by now people know, hey, call Tony.
Not seeing it as a setback, but as a challenge, he began raising money and awareness to find a cure, not treatment, something he's refused, but a cure. Tony's foundation, tpcr.org, has raised more than $11 million. Their discovery of a cancer-fighting protein at MD Anderson looks promising.
We discovered it would actually cure cancer, prostate cancer, human prostate cancer on mice. No,
I'm very proud of him. He couldn't find the answers to the questions. He did something about it rather than sit back and do nothing. And proud of you, Dad.
I had nothing to do with that.
You done good.
There's the man above, seems to open doors, throw me in there and says, okay, get out of it.
He must like your track record.
I don't know. Originally, I had a long conversation with the good Lord and said, you know, for 16 years now, you gave me prostate cancer when we opened the restaurant. If I didn't have the restaurant, we wouldn't have been able to reach the foundation. So everything, there's no coincidence. Everything comes for a reason.
A reason to give back and serve great food. It's not only a pleasure to share our table with the Masraffs, it's an honor. Coming up next, from fine dining to a funky food truck that has barbecue lovers lining up for more.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
But next, you'll want to pull up a chair to this table where they don't skimp on the shrimp, and dinner is a show in itself. This place is like nothing you've ever seen before. We'll be right back. Good things come from Cisco. Take a short drive north of downtown San Antonio, not too far from the Alamo, and you'll land at the city's hottest gathering spot, the historic Pearl Brewery, a mecca for food fanatics. Perhaps the most dramatic dining destination at Pearl is right here at Southerly. One step inside and it's clear, Southerly makes a statement. Here, the goodness from our Gulf hooks up with Southern charm. Fresh off the boat red snapper comes in daily, along with steaming mountains of sweet Gulf shrimp. You'll have dreams about Southerly's deviled eggs, drenched in goodness with a generous dollop of bacon jam. There are sizzling steaks, even scratch-made giant pretzels that pair up perfectly with Southerly's house-brewed beers.
The whole ambiance, it's kind of like Southerly, it's homey, but at the same time, it's really industrial and really cool. I really like it.
Southerly's honors the original brewery's glory days, and it doesn't go unnoticed by locals who share in that past.
My grandfather was the original CFO of the Pearl, and so when I walk up and see, you know, the lights and how it's all redone, he's been here, and it's nice to come back and see how they've kept the original architecture.
Southerly's is still hallowed ground for beer lovers. Some big-time beers are brewed on the loft right upstairs. Les Locke is the head brewer here, and I would imagine this is a fun place to brew beer.
Absolutely. It's so much history here in this building. We're literally brewing in the footsteps of where people brewed for over 120 years.
Some of the brewery's original vats and barrels are back in use. Even wine barrels and bourbon barrels are in the mix. So how long does it take start to finish for a brew to?
About 21 to 28 days.
At least 4 new brews are crafted every week. You also kind of have an adventurous streak, don't you?
I do. We like to employ a lot of food in our beers, so herbs and vegetables and fruits, of course, that are seasonal that we actually play off what the kitchen is doing.
Shrimp oil, ribeye, sirloin.
You may come to Southerly for drinks, but you'll definitely want to stay for dinner. Seafood here shines.
Here's a really beautiful Gulf red snapper. So this guy is really, really fresh, and we'll use the entire thing. We do a dish with the filet, and then we remove the throats, and we use all the throats so we can get our hands on.
Those throats don't go to waste. In fact, they're a very popular dish here. Chef Balfour's granddad introduced him to the longtime Southern favorite.
You know, as a little kid, I don't want to try anything that's a throat, but you learn to eat them. It's one of the things that you do, and really, really cool.
They're very delicious. Yes. Not only are they dramatic to look at when it comes to the table, but they taste amazing. And so does the cracker-crusted Gulf snapper fillet topped with lump crab meat.
This is very much stuff that I grew up eating.
Some say the best seat in the house is right here, kitchen side, where you can watch all the action. Okay, so one of the cool things, the shrimp boil, obviously very popular.
Yeah, it's one of our most popular dishes. So we wanted to do it right here on the bar, right in front of all the guests so they'd be able to see. So we just have a little bit of court bouillon here, or some stock with a little bit of spices and herbs in it.
All the traditional good stuff here, potatoes, corn, lots of spice, and of course, plenty of Gulf shrimp. Oh, the smells are pretty amazing.
A little bit of this.
A little more lemon, spice, and butter, of course, and the shrimp boil is served. Y'all got the best seat in the house.
Yes, we requested it.
You'll have to visit Southerlies more than once to try all the tempting choices. But rest assured, your favorites will always be around. From the chef's kitchen, right to yours. Every week I like to show you a special dish from one of the restaurants we visit that you can make at home. And today, it's a good one. These are the deviled eggs from Southerly, but these aren't just any deviled eggs. These are topped with candied bacon. A bacon jam so good you'll want to eat it right out of the bowl all by itself, and it's really easy to do. You start with about a cup of bacon, cut into the ends, small pieces. If you have leftover bacon, it's easy just to throw the leftovers in there. And I like to get mine started on the cooking process, and I'll speed things up a little bit now for the purposes of TV, but generally I like my bacon to be well on its way before I add the other ingredients. Then you just start adding the ingredients. You're going to add about half a cup of onions chopped up, about half a cup of brown sugar, about a tablespoon of dark molasses. Adds a nice richness to it. And a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Next, a cup of apple cider vinegar. Just let all of this come together and slowly cook down. All right, fast forward about 30 to 45 minutes after it's cooked low and slow. This is what you end up with. All right, on to the eggs. The deviled egg filling recipe is on my website at goodtaste.tv. The chef gave us the entire recipe. It's a really good one and has capers in it. So you can get the whole recipe online. So you pipe your filling, obviously, into your deviled eggs. Take a little bit of fresh herbs, smoky paprika, and then the candied bacon jam. And it's as easy as it looks. Just spoon all of this delicious bacon jam. A little goes a long way right on top of your eggs. If you want, you can add more herbs if you like to get chefy with it, and voila. Okay, you guys saw that the top fell off, right? Oh well, it still tastes fantastic. Cheers. These are so good. Coming up, I'll show you the wines, my wine finds of the week. But first, barbecue's so good, it's worth a wait. A long wait in line.
It's really peppery and savory and delicious, and you kind of got to try a little of everything.
We're saving you a place. Good Taste will be right back. Good Taste with Tanji is brought to you in part by H-E-B. Folks from all over the world travel to Texas to see, is it really true? Are things bigger and better here, like the barbecue? Well, there's a little East Side food truck in Austin that will not disappoint. La Barbecue.
Quarter pound of brisket.
Quarter pound of brisket?
Half pound of brisket, quarter turkey.
Folks routinely line up for the fixins at this funky barbecue joint on Austin's East Side. This tiny trailer puts out some tasty treasures. Giant finger-licking ribs, homemade sausage, and the juiciest of briskets.
It's the best in town.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
La Barbecue's magic begins here, in what barbecue fanatics might call hallowed ground. Large smokers designed by the one and only Franklin Barbecue's legendary pitmaster, John Lewis. Dylan Taylor tells me he was schooled by the best and works on his craft every day. So tell me about your briskets.
So these are about 2 to 3 hours in. These will go for about 14 to 16 hours. Right now we're just kind of setting the rub on these, so we're cooking a little bit lower, a little bit more smoky, and we're gonna get a nice smoke on them, and then we're gonna kind of gradually raise up the temperature as the cook goes on.
To get a more smoky flavor, Dylan says, take it slow and keep the temperature low longer.
Brisket only takes smoke for like the earlier part of the cook when it's at a certain temperature. After that, after it passes that temperature, it really doesn't take any smoke.
Really?
Anymore.
So there's only so much it's going to take in anyway.
But you can prolong that period and get more smoke on your meat. There's a lot of little like tips and tricks.
Okay.
One of the trademarks of La Barbecue's brisket is its crispy bark.
Okay, so Dylan, tell us about the popular rub on this, the top secret rub.
Okay, it's actually not too secret actually. It's 16 mesh black pepper, kosher salt, and then a little bit of garlic granules, not powder. You want like a more kind of, for the Central Texas style, we use a lot more like coarse ingredients in our rubs to get like that nice kind of like rigid bark on the brisket.
Lots of people are taking notes on that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good
Don't try it at home.
Folks from around the world line up for a taste, and their companions wait patiently for their share. Sometimes not so patiently.
I'm from Los Angeles, and I flew out to Austin to just have a vacation, and ended up here at La Barbecue, which was a must on my list. It's really peppery and savory and delicious. You kind of got to try a little of everything.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Then can I have it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
The frito loco. Frito loco, cool.
La Barbecue also stacks up in the sandwich and slaw department with something for everyone.
So as pitmaster, what's your favorite thing? If you were coming to order, what do you recommend?
Turkey.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Brisket.
I got Dylan to dish on a few more brisket basics.
So what are the most common mistakes we make when we smoke our own at home?
Oh man, there's a long list for that. But you know, you could maybe cook it too long, not cooking it hot enough, maybe cooking it like too hot, you know?
Yeah.
It all depends on your smoker as well.
What temperature do you like to cook at?
Depending on the smoker, like on my home smoker, it's a bit smaller, so I usually hover around 250 to 275.
Whether you love lean or moist, knowing when it's done is a big deal.
This is what we call the pull test, and you can just kind of pull it together with the slightest ease.
So you want it to pull apart?
Yeah, exactly, but you don't want it to be like falling apart, because then that's overcooked.
Look for plump, juicy ribbons of fat in between the grain.
This graining is still like has some structural integrity to it.
Right.
That's really what you're looking for.
And that smoke ring, that's a badge of honor. But what really counts is the taste.
I won't fill you up too bad, but there you go.
Oh, come on, I won't complain.
All right, there you go.
This is lean.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly tender too.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
John Lewis taught me a thing or two, I guess.
Man, you're not kidding. Well, you learned with some of the best of the best.
Yeah, and there's a little bite of fatty too if you want to try all three.
Carnivores rejoice.
Hell yeah.
The food at La Barbecue really is special. That's good stuff. Okay, speaking of more good stuff, we're going to talk a little wine. Sauvignon Blancs. Sauvignon Blanc is a must-have wine in our neck of the woods. These wines are wonderful all by themselves, but they pair beautifully with seafood. Think scallops, red snapper, oysters. The perfect pairing right here. The Sauv Blancs come from all over the country, all over the world actually, and they come in different styles. So I thought I would start with the classic. It comes from France. In France, the Sauvignon Blanc is called Sancerre. These are produced in the Loire region. The really good Sancerres are crisp with lots of minerality. I would think this is the absolute perfect pairing with oysters. Patien Cotat, hopefully I haven't totally butchered the French pronunciation, but this is a nice crisp Sauvignon Blanc. All right, moving on to New Zealand. Some of the most popular, well-rated wines in the world, Sauvignon Blanc wise, are coming from New Zealand. These are wonderful wines, and I really like this one. It's called The Crossings, very affordable. Think lime, a little bit of passion fruit, grapefruit, bright, refreshing, good with seafood, good with Thai food too, spicy food. This is a fun Sauvignon Blanc. Sauv Blancs are also made in the good old USA, and one of the regions I like coming out of California for Sauvignon Blanc is the Russian River Valley. The wines that come from the Russian River Valley are a little bit fuller bodied, but they also have a little more of the melon characteristics. They do have some of the citrus flavors like your lime and your grapefruit, but you get some melon flavors in them as well. This is a really nice Sauvignon Blanc. It's from Matanzas Creek. If you ever go to this winery, go in the summer when the lavender fields are in bloom. It's absolutely spectacular. So these are my wonderful wine finds for today. All are under 20 bucks and they're easy to find. Coming up next, how you could win a relaxing getaway right here. Welcome back, everyone. Pay close attention. We're going to tell you how you could win a relaxing weekend right here. Head to Good Taste TV right now and sign up for a chance to win a luxurious weekend at the Houstonian, complete with spa treatments for you and a guest at the beautiful award-winning Trellis Spa. Who wouldn't love a wonderful weekend at the Houstonian? Coming up next week, we're headed out to the hill country where the kitchen may be tiny, but the flavor is huge. Then straight from the farm to one of Austin's hottest kitchens. Simple flavors, stunning dishes. And it's time to end the debate. We'll tell you where Tex-Mex got its real start. That's coming up next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Till next time, cheers to good taste.